Wolfpack Nation, thank you so much again for tuning in for our next episode. Today, we'll be kind of talking about what's going on in NC State basketball. Big week that just happened with us, and just kind of reviewing what else happened in NC State sports. And then we'll have an interview with Nate Irving, the beast, linebacker, man. So we're definitely looking forward to that. So make sure to please stick around for that. And please make sure also, if you're not already following us on Twitter and Instagram, to follow us here at Tuffy Talk Now. And also to make sure to subscribe and like us, and please make sure to check out our other content. And so with that being said, let's go and get this thing started. What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to the 7th episode of Tuffy Talk. This is Leighton Smith and Macon Adams here, coming with you. And you might be asking yourselves, why are you guys recording like this? Well, guess what? You're going to have to stick around Thursday, 5 o'clock. Just check it out, and you'll see why. So with that being said, first want to obviously kind of come off a little bit off the chest a little bit here. Obviously, during the last episode, we kind of did a little bit of talking about Keats. And, well, this week we've definitely have got some updates for sure. I mean, now we've beaten Pitt on the road, beaten Wake Forest on the road. Give us some insight, man. It's been a good week.
Well, for me, honestly, when I look back at those games, the 3 wins, I know we were beating teams that were more bottom feeder teams with, we had Boston College on the road, and then we had 2 home games against, I think it was Syracuse and Duke. I think so it was. And then now we've beaten Pittsburgh and Wake Forest. This, for all, interest purposes, this has been recorded the Sunday after the Wake Forest game. And when you look back at, I think a big reason why we won those games, one of your top performers, or the top performer from each of those games, were all freshmen. You had Shaquille Moore that went off at the Boston College game. You had, I think it was Cam Hayes against Pittsburgh. And then just, against Wake Forest yesterday, it was Darian Sebron. So when you have those guys are stepping up, which is really what we've been advocating the whole time, is when you don't have guard play, specifically from Moore and Hayes, that are really distributing the ball well and scoring the ball well, you're not going to win much because you're quarterback of your offense. Yeah. And so when you see guys like that stepping up when they needed to, I know we also shot in the games those last 3 games we've won. We shot over 50% from from field goal percentage, and then made at least third of our 3-point shots. So it's 33%. So, when we're doing that and our freshman players are stepping up, specifically the guards on the road stepping up, that's a big deal when you're missing somebody like Devin Daniels. And you've been just, I know for me particularly, just like, okay, when I watch these games, like why can't we get more out of these guys? And right now, their names, they've been playing like, we'd hope they would.
Yeah. Well, and the 2 things that really stood out to me really is, first of all, Bryson Beverly, I think, has really stepped up. I mean, he's definitely been impressive, especially in the Wake Forest game.
The Wake Forest game, he was really
impressive. Yeah. So, I think that was something that I know that you and I have both said that we have been looking for, the senior guys like Braxton to really step in and really take over and lead us. And he really did. He really did that. And he really made some tough shots. And then the second thing really, especially in the Wake Forest game, which I think we can all agree was definitely the most impressive game ACC-wise this year, was the points off turnovers. Were drastic.
And points in transition too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I know that's, especially for Keith, that's something that he really strives on trying to do, is trying to speed up the ball, go up and down the court quickly. And even like seeing somebody like Shaquille Moore getting into foul trouble early, Manny Bates got into foul trouble early. But yeah, you saw guys like Funderburk, really take the leadership role, really be that.
And I'll say for him too, he also struggled going at the beginning of the game. He missed like the first 5, 6, 7 shots. Yeah. And he just kept going because he knew that's his game plan. And you mentioned scoring wise too, how Wake Forest's best performance. I think we had 5 in double figure scoring that game. Yeah. So that really just, when you got that many players scoring and getting double digits, it's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. It's definitely a good thing to know for the future in having Cam Hayes, Manny Bates, having Darian Sebron.
If they can just keep progressing the way they have played the last few games,
solid for sure.
Yeah.
solid group for sure for the future. And then one of the big things too, which I saw actually today that they announced was Perez for women's basketball.
Yeah, for women's basketball.
She announced that she's going to be.
I saw that when I was coming over here just to record this. That is huge for her.
Yeah.
When you've got all that returning talent coming back, and then for her, so for those who don't know, she just decided that she's going to come and get her master's degree next year, which I don't know many students who do that just to come back to get their master's specifically. Yeah. Maybe they do with grad school. I guess that is true, but to have her come back with the program and already have established who your floor general is going to be for a team that's a top 5 team right now. Yeah. That's huge for Westmore.
Well, especially again, I mean, for a grad transfer, I mean, usually, I think every fan kind of going into the season really saw her as being that kind of plug, fill in, point guard who's really experienced and can really kind of lead this team after replacing a player like Ace Koenig.
Right.
So, I mean, to get her for another year, it's great. Now, still, the roof is, the expectation or the possibility for this year. I mean, who knows where this team
goes. The ceiling is the roof.
Yeah, the ceiling is the roof. Yes, UNC. The ceiling is the roof. But now with like Louisville getting upset by Florida State, who was South Carolina getting beat by Tennessee. Again, you expect hopefully more likely we get to that number 2 spot.
Which they will never get credit for anything.
We'll never get credit.
It may never happen.
So, but we'll see what happens with that. And then the other really big thing as well is I know today baseball finally started. We were all finally excited to see that come back to life.
Coming.
Yes. So excited to finally get that rolling. So, I was kind of saying too that, how important it was that, obviously I think when VMI game, the series got canceled, I think all of us state fans, looking at the schedule, like we talked about last week at Louisville coming up soon, we're like, we need that time. We need those games to really figure out the starting rotation, to really get some guys, some at bats, get the flow, get to kind of figure out the flow a little bit, see who works, who doesn't work in certain batting spots. So, to get this in with Davidson, definitely hats off to the Davidson program for them to come down and do a 2-game doubleheader with us. That's going to help us tremendously for the rest of the season. And one thing also too, Wolfpack Nation, is to make sure to keep in mind this coming weekend, Sunday, February 28th, the ACC Wrestling Championships is going to be going on. Yep. So make sure to check that out. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, we're going to head right over into an interview. So hope you guys enjoy it. And here we go. What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? We're back here with the one, the only Nate Irving. Nate, appreciate you joining us, my friend.
What's up, man? Anytime I can be on, just give me a call.
Yeah. Hey, Nate. So we were really glad you got to be on the call, man. Like, I don't know, for people who don't know Nate, who maybe just are just young state fans or don't really know, man, this is one of the hardest hitting linebackers that the ACC has ever seen, man. This dude, if you haven't seen some of his highlight clips, he was going on from being just dropping dudes on their head all over the place, man. He was nuts. And what was like when you look back on your time, man, do you realize how tough you were? Realize how dominant you were tackling people and throwing them on the ground? I know you had some of these suplexes, man. You were dropping dudes on their head.
Now, the crazy thing is when as I was going through, my college career, I always thought, I needed to be better at tackling. And I was like, if I can get this tackling thing down, I can be like a way better player. And it's something that, if I can go back and do it all over again, I would try to get better at tackling. I think that was one of the weak spots in my game, actually.
Really? Wow, that's pretty interesting you say that. I can tell you, man, when you were there, you basically left school, I think, around 2011. Is that right? I think that's right.
Yeah, I graduated 2010, December.
Yeah. So you were there right when I was getting in. So I was a student from 2010 to 2014.
Gotcha.
And, man, I just remember watching you guys with you and Terrell Manning, Audie Cole. Y'all were dominant, man. And
your first year was the last year I was there, and I think that was a pretty good year for us.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Real fun, man. It was real fun.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I was trying to look back here. I was looking at some of these stats, man. You had You were 2010 All-American. You had 97 tackles. You were voted at the end. You picked as a 2010 8. You won that Brian Piccolo Award as the most courageous player. When you look back on your time at State, like what are some of the accolades that you really think about that really stand out to you, if anything? But or any good moments?
It was actually, just being able to be a captain, because we had some programs that we went through in the off season, and it was tough. We had I think a Marine or some guy who came in and just beat our team down, and I was one of the people that was able to have a voice to bring the team together, and I think that off season leading into the season, it kind of helped, and how my teammates looked at me, and also being voted as a captain, and just help build the relationships. I think that was the best thing about going to State, the relationships with the guys that were, lined up in front of me, on the side of me, and behind me.
Right.
So what was curious. So because if I remember correctly, in 2010, I think it was you, Jarvis Williams, and Russell that were the captains. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year.
Yeah. So just to kind of, look back. Obviously, at the time, Russell Wilson to us, especially as State fans, really stood out to us how much of a playmaker he was, and also from what we could see as well, a definite leader as well, alongside with you and Jarvis as well. Did you really see? Since you were there for most of Russell's time in terms of him growing up, did you see that potential in terms of where he is now? Just seeing that he could be potentially one of the best quarterbacks, that in our time right now?
Yeah. It's crazy because even, I used to hate it in practice, but I'm grateful for it because I learned a lot, from him and offense in practice.
Mm-hmm.
But to this day, it doesn't surprise me. I can be sitting watching the game, and Seahawks would be down, and people are celebrating because their team playing. I'm like, you can't count them out. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. They come back and win, and I'm just like, I told you, man. It's like they got some mojo or something. It's something about them, man.
Yeah,
something about them.
Yeah. Well, because definitely looking back to that 2010 year, the biggest game I think that stands out to me and probably to most State fans is that Florida State game. That was a huge game during a prime time, slot, just so many big moments, I think, for that game, obviously with the George Bryant touchdown, Russell Wilson threw the fumble that you recovered. And then, the biggest moment I think that stands out to me, which I think a lot of State fans sometimes maybe forget about, is when you had hurt your hand, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exactly what kind of injury it was, but then they were.
Brandon Bishop hit me. I think it was Bishop. I want to say it was Brandon Bishop. I wrapped the guy up. He came right down and just drilled me right in the hand.
Oh, yeah. So a helmet to the hand, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I
already had a cast on it too, so it was like.
Yeah. But hearing the reporter during the game basically say that, you pretty much said, wrap it up, put me back in. I need to be on that field and lead this team. Because it's kind of interesting to think about. If you weren't on the field during that last drive to be in the right position to recover that fumble, because I don't know who your backup would have been, but who knows if they would have been there to make that play and recover that fumble, then it might have not gotten the same outcome. So I think that's really a big thing for me.
It was crazy because I don't even know. That play was supposed to be a touchdown because we blew a coverage. It was a pass.
Easy touchdown.
For whatever reason, It was a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That ball just popped out so easy.
It was just one of those things that I feel like with State fans, we always feel like, things don't really go our way, but it just happened to be that for some reason, somehow the running back decided to move 6 inches closer to Christian Ponder than he should have. And the ball just hit the running back and it popped out and there you were. So,
game of inches for real.
Yeah, man.
Literally a game of inches.
Yes.
So I'm a guy who's really big into the recruiting side of things. I like seeing to me, it's more of the stories. You can see where guys come from where they were in high school when they were just just kids, and then they go through college. You see them get successful through college and then the pros. And I was looking back, and I remember when you were coming in, you were like for the people don't know also too. They do football rankings and basketball rankings by stars. So like if you're like a 1 through 5, 1 is like like you're the quote unquote like a really not good recruit, and
Not many
5
offers.
is like you're like the best thing since sliced bread. You're the greatest player to ever live. Kind of the 5-star. And if I remember from Nate was listed as a 2-star. Now we could get into the conversation as like how legitimate are star rankings anyways because of how many football players there are and so limited number of scouts to get out there and look at all the recruits. But you were 2-star coming in, man, and you came in like I just said earlier. You got to the point where you ended up being a captain on the team. You were starter captain, and you 2010 All-American. You had I've looked at those numbers here. Let's look those up again. You had 39 and a half tackles for loss in 34 games in your last year. You had 200 tackles for your things for your career, 9 sacks, 4 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say? What kind of statement that when you come to high school kids who are trying to get recruited and are so caught up in the stars of everything? What does that look like when you say, like, for me, hey, I'm Nate Irving. I was a 2-star, and then I came in and I worked my butt off, and I ended up being All-American. Like, what is that? And I ended up playing the NFL. What does that say to that message to high school players?
Stars don't mean anything.
Right.
Like, stars don't play football. Like,
right.
all you need is a chance. Like, I've always believed, like, just get out there and let your play do the talking. So, like, they get paid to do their job, which is, give stars and, whatever. Some of them good, some of them bad. That can't affect you. That can't stop you. You go out there and do what you know how to do to the best of your ability, and, let the chips fall where they may. Don't get caught up in 5 and 4, because I know a lot of 5 and 4s, that didn't last,
exactly,
didn't
man.
make it, didn't live up to the hype. So
yeah, that's what to me it's all about work ethic and how big your head is. But I've heard the saying before, like when you get into college sports, once you get on campus, those stars don't matter anymore.
They don't. Stars don't mean anything.
Yeah, I just think that's I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It ticks me off because, just going through the process. And I remember, meeting guys. Oh, I'm this, I'm a 4-star. I went to a 5A school, and I went to a 4A school. I'm like, that don't mean anything, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like that actually like just, drove me and made me hungry. The fact that, it pissed me off and lit a fire under me in a good way.
Right.
Yeah, well, and I mean, because I feel like that's really the trend for really that entire 2010 team. I mean, because I know Terrell Manning, Audie Cole, Russell. I mean, pretty much most of all stars were not big time recruits. They were just guys that were
Russell
just
Wilson. For those we just talked about Russell Wilson, everybody.
Yeah.
He was a 2-star recruit too.
Yeah. And they were just hungry, and I mean they just bought in, and I think that they kind of bought in on each other, and really just relied on each other and got it done, and really just kind of proved to everybody where we were as a program. So yeah, I mean it's crazy to think about how even our biggest recruit, Mike Glennon, was backing up Russell Wilson. It's not like he came in and stole it, because he's a 5-star. He had to earn it. So yeah, absolutely. And, because the one thing too, which I'm curious for you as well, kind of talking about Terrell Manning, Audie Cole, my opinion, one of the greatest all time linebacking cores.
That's what we're going to say. You ask us all the time,
yeah,
that's the best group to do it. I mean, respect to, the guys before us, because I admire, some of the people and how they play before us, but
different game
us
then,
three,
but yeah,
I mean, we suited and booted, man. We ready to go.
I wonder if D'Antonio Burnett, Coach Thunder, might think a little different on that. But we'll have to ask him. So, but
he gonna get me for that one. He's gonna get me for that one.
We'll make sure to tag him on that. So I mean, kind of comparing, because right now I would say, because I know you follow team right now, and the big thing I know that Mick and I were both really interested to kind of get your thoughts on is, I feel like right now our linebacking core is strong too. I mean, we have Peyton Wilson, Isaiah Moore, Drake Thomas, you name it. We have a plethora of talent, and so I mean, kind of looking at those guys. I mean, do you see any comparisons there? Any similarities? Between Peyton, Drake, and Isaiah, and then the three of you guys.
One thing I do look at and admire, the motor, especially on Peyton. Like, I get tired sitting here watching. I'm like, damn,
dude.
Like if I could have had a motor like that, man, like, geez, that's just something you can't teach. Just like the motor and the grit that he plays with. I've been a fan, since I've started watching him play, and I think all those guys are pretty good, moving, in the middle and on the edges, and like it. The thing for me is to see, especially now, how they're gonna handle adversity, whether that be, getting hurt or having to split time or, things like that, because I think that competition and how you handle adversity, can make or break you. And,
yeah.
I just want to see how, guys respond to that.
Well, because I mean, one of the biggest moments I think for me, and just like you were saying in terms of dealing with adversity, was I know Mick and I were talking earlier that during the I think it was the Georgia Tech game earlier this year, Peyton Wilson at one point had separated both of his shoulders, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, both of them.
Insane.
Yeah, and he still played.
It was insane.
I mean, it really does make you think a little bit about Nate Irving, and the fact, I mean, how much adversity you went through, and I mean, the fact that you hurt your hand bad, but you said, I'm not getting out of this game. Just wrap it up, put me back in there. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good moment to know that you have that leadership and you have those guys that you feel like you can rely on to really move the program in the right direction. So
guys respect that. People, your teammates respect that. They see it and they respect that. This guy can go out there. I'm going to go out there. That's my brother. Especially when you go through, ups and downs with him. You see him out there giving it everything. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to give everything too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So looking at how the team did this past season, did you get to watch a lot of the games or most of the games or any of them?
Yeah, I watched a lot of them.
That's cool. So what'd you think about the team this past year as a whole?
Well, offensively, I've never been one to care about what the offense does. I watch the offense as a fan, but I look at the defense more, in detail. And sometimes I don't know, all the intricate details, but I can tell some of the things from the scheme. And I think, we had some guys who were studs. I'm like 2-9, just I find myself watching him like in the middle. Just I was disgusted at how good he was. I was like, man, like
yeah, man. Pro Football Focus just listed him or rated him. They do the ratings based on purely just film. Like, they don't care what school you went to, nothing. They rated him as like the number 2 defensive tackle in the country.
I watch him. I was like, that's disgusting how good he was, man. What he did, demanding double teams and triples, like he was a problem in there. And I found myself watching him a lot. I'm like, damn, it's like he's like, he got some wiggle to him too. So it makes it kind of fun. He's strong, got some wiggle, he's quick, and I just watched him a lot. But it was hard to watch, some of the big plays because, some guys overrun or come up short, play the wrong. And on TV, you can see that. And, you hear the noise of, oh, this person was wrong. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. you don't know what the scheme was. You don't know who's supposed to be this person. And that led to a lot of times just watching the game on mute because, it's irritating how wrong some people can be. Not saying that I'm right, but if you don't know all the details,
I get it.
You can't tell me the middle backer is supposed to be here when you don't know what his assignment was.
Cool, man. Yeah, I was going to ask you this question too. Who do you think hits harder, you or Tanner Engel? Tanner, safety band.
See, everybody. It's crazy because I didn't hit hard.
Well, I thought you did.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I look at some of the other players. I'm like, well, like I can hear it and feel it. Like, I wasn't a hard hitter. I'll slam you, make some tackles, but I don't think I was really a hard hitter. And that's like I say, if I can go back and do it again, I would focus on tackling so I could be like, one of the hit stick players like, I see on TV. And I'm like damn, lay some lumber on some people.
Right.
Well, because one thing too, when you say kind of hit stick there, I mean, obviously one of the highlight plays everybody loves talking about. I'm sure you love hearing. I'm sure you love hearing about is that Wake Forest did. I mean, when a suplex play like that happens, I mean, is that something that you like think of ahead of time, like, oh man, if I get the opportunity, I'm just gonna bury this dude, or is it just? I mean, it just happened in the middle of the play.
And I'm going to say too. It wasn't just the Wake Forest game because I went back and saw a highlight. He did the same thing to an ECU player too.
That's right. Yes, I remember that game. Mm-hmm.
So the crazy thing is I never like planned to do it. Mm-hmm. I was just it happened so quick. I get there and I see it, wrap him up.
Just reaction.
And it's just like, what do you do? Like, you want to slam him? Like, I want to, like, in a good way, I want to make this guy feel some pain,
Yeah.
Let him know you're there. I hear you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, in terms of, game, I mean, obviously, again, the Florida State game was big. You guys swept, Carolina in your years. I know that's
what I'm
pretty
talking
big.
About.
So, beating ECU when they were all, running out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And you smacked them, right across. Is there one game out of all those wins that you could possibly pick out as like that stands out above the rest?
I would say I don't know if there's one game.
Yeah.
Because I went through so much. That first game back after my car accident, that game has some significance. Mm-hmm. The Wake Forest game, senior night, my last game there, that game had significance. But to beat Carolina's ass every time we strapped up, we beat the fight. Oh, they're not our rivals. We don't care about.
Yeah,
you beat the fight out of somebody. Well, we don't care about them. We don't care about them. Like, come on, man. We know what this is.
Yeah. That's one thing that bugs me for me personally. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine, and I know I got some family members that are Carolina fans too. But it's just when they say like, "Well, you're done our rivals," and like, well, then why do you guys care so much?
Why? See, that's like you beat the fight, you take the fight, but as soon as they win, rah, 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 rah. You lose. Yeah. We don't care about this game. We don't, it's another. Oh, it's their Super Bowl. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We know what's up, man.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. Did you see how that stadium was when Giovanni Bernard ran it back that one game? It's like, I mean, my whole point is like, you guys care about it. You guys, it matters to y'all.
Come on, man. Mm-hmm. That's something they tell themselves, make them feel better at night.
That's right.
So kind of switching gears here. You were drafted by the Broncos in the third round in the 2011 draft, pick number 67, which I thought was kind of cool. We might have looked at that. I thought it was kind of cool that Shannon Sharp was actually the guy who called your name when you were drafted. I was looking at the games, and it looked at the Broncos. Y'all ran a 4-3 scheme on defense as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mainly
like a little 4-3 under.
Yeah.
Under
so like,
scheme.
was that transition when you went from college running a 4-3 to now going to pros? Did that help at all, or what was that transition like going from college
to pros?
As hell. Really?
It was hard as hell. Yeah, it was hard as hell. It was on the college level, there's not as much detail to everything. And when you get to the league,
right.
You got to know Is that college? You drop back to the whole curl. NFL, you're dropping back to match routes. There's no yardage. You have to be situationally aware. You got to know formation, sets, down and distance. College, okay, the menu wasn't that big to know. So, as a rookie trying to come in, learn, a million different things and compete against grown men, and it was kind of intimidating. And, it's at the end of the day, you understand it's a business. So you're not obligated. You're not on scholarship. You can be going just like that. Right. So, you start to think about, the pressure of being correct all the time or minimizing your mistakes. And I think, that all that stuff adds up. So especially, when you're a rookie, coming in, it's the expectations, the team has for you, you got for yourself, trying to compete, learn, and, it was tough to handle.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I was looking at your stats here too. You seem like you did pretty well in that regard. You had 118 tackles, three sacks, 8 QB hits. You even had a safety. I think that's right. Played on special teams some.
So I tell y'all a secret. That safety came in a Seattle game.
Okay.
We were at Seattle. I think like my second, I don't know what year, I can't remember, my second or third year. We were at Seattle. And they were backed up. We called the play, and I think like Vaughn, like somebody else got safety. Yeah. I don't know why they ever said it was me. And, I was just similar. I was just, putting a safety signal up. And I just walked off celebrating. And ever since then, they started saying, "Oh, yeah, you got a safety." I'm like, "No, I didn't." They just kept saying this. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell my kids. My
sure I did. Yeah, huh? Yeah. That's hilarious. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Well,
that's awesome.
I don't know how they ever gave me a safety, but after a while, I was trying to give it back. I was just taking it, and, I'll just live with it.
Yeah, it's on the stat sheet.
Well, it's just it's just like what they say with referees, stuff like that. Hey, sometimes you gotta sell the call a little bit, and hey man, hold it.
Hey,
so, you'll take it and run.
Hey, that's so funny. I'm gonna take it now.
I don't think Von Miller needs that stat packer there.
He's doing okay without it.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right.
Hey, so I got a quick fire question for you. Mm-hmm. Favorite alternate state jersey football combo?
Don't give me that, because you know what? That's BS. because when I was there, I remember me and Terrell. We walked up to O'Brien. Can we get some black jerseys? Can we switch them up? No, our colors are red and white.
Because he was hardcore, man.
Our colors were red and white, and I walked up. I'm like, yo, imagine how dope we would be.
I know. But when you look at on TV, black. Yeah, when you look at on TV now, what's the sharpest looking one?
Number one for me is the all black. I'm just a fan of that's intimidating. You go out there, the good guys wear white. They say back with defense. That's the goon squad. We in all black. We going out there.
You.
But that military gray. I like that one. I like that
cool.
one.
That's cool. That's interesting.
Stealth gray or whatever it is. Like,
yeah.
I'm a fan of that one.
That's cool.
Like it's clean.
That's cool.
That's clean.
Awesome. Well, then here's my last question for you, man. And again, I really appreciate you getting to come on. My last question is: as State fans, they see you all the time on Twitter and talking, and you seem like as a former alum and former player, you are one of the biggest fans and supporters of the football team and the university. Like, what is it about your passion? Like, where do you get that passion from? What makes it for you that you feel like, I have all of this passion for State that seems like, more than most players do. Where's that come from?
Because when I was there, I felt like I gave State everything I had. And, whether that be on the field or off the field. And I felt like I received that back from the student body, the fans, the university,
all around everything, that has to deal with that, that university. I felt like it gave me the love back, and I appreciate that. It's hard not to appreciate that, especially when I went through my car accident. The way not only the team, like I say, the love that I got from people outside of the team, just students in the school, things like that. That's just that meant a lot to me. So like I said, I'm always gonna rep it, man. Always.
I hear you, man.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Nate. Really appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you so much again for taking the time. And again, we definitely look forward to hopefully seeing you at some games here in the near future.
I'll make a couple of them, about 2 or 3 of them this year. I got to get back there.
We look forward to it, Nate. Well, thanks again, Nate.
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, Wolfpack Nation. Hope y'all enjoyed that interview. It was a great time. And again, just such a real and you get what you get with Nate Irving.
Yeah, he's not trying to be anybody else but himself.
No, and he's a guy who definitely loves NC State inside now, and definitely appreciates NC State for everything that NC State has given them. So definitely hats off to that, and definitely look forward to make sure to check him out if you guys see him at games. Hopefully, if they we allow fans, knock on wood, hopefully that make sure to watch, keep an eye out for him, and definitely give him a shout out, and make sure to follow him also on social media. So with that being said, please make sure again to subscribe you can even click in the bottom right hand corner of the button and subscribe to us if you aren't already. And please make sure to tune in with our episode next week. And again, follow us on social media at Tuffy Talk Now if you aren't already, and check out other content. And look forward to seeing y'all again real soon. Thanks again, and go Pack.